Ian Lindsay of Lindsay and Associates has played an active role in the local community since 1979. He has been with RE/MAX, Vancouver Island's most advanced real estate business network, since 1996, marketing and selling residential, rural, strata, recreational, investment, and project development real estate. You'll find true real estate professionals at ianlindsay.ca.
Peter and Dave, they're on the mic, so alright. Join the ride, it's gonna feel just right.
Ho, ho, ho! Well, hello there, friends. Santa Claus here. Peter and Dave are busy doing some last-minute Christmas shopping, so they asked if I would sit in the big chair and host their Christmas podcast. The elves seem to have everything at the North Pole under control, so I thought I could sneak away for this special occasion. I must say, Vancouver Island isn't so different from my home this time of year. The snow-capped peaks of Mount Arrowsmith in the distance, the crisp ocean air along the Parksville and Qualicum beaches. It reminds me why the West Coast holds such a special place in my heart. You know, people often ask me, Santa, what's your favorite part of Christmas? And I always say, it's the music. There's something magical about a Christmas song that brings people together, young and old, gathering around to share in the wonder of the season. I have a sleigh full of wonderful musical treats for you, featuring some of your own talented Vancouver Island and Gulf Islands artists. There's music from Valdy, Shari Ulrich, Vince Warry, David Gogo, Zachary Stevenson, The Heels, and Spirit of the West. But between the songs, I thought I'd share a few tales from my Christmas travels. Little stories about the magic I've witnessed over the centuries. So grab yourself a cup of cocoa, settle in by the fire, and let's celebrate this beautiful season together. Ho, ho, ho! Let me start with a story about a journey across the winter sea. It was centuries ago, and 3 ships were sailing home for Christmas. The sailors had been away from their families for months, and as they navigated through the December darkness, they began to worry they wouldn't make it home in time for Christmas morning. The wind had died down, and the ships were barely moving. The stars were hidden behind thick clouds. Some of the younger sailors had never been away from home for Christmas before, and you could see the sadness in their eyes. They spoke quietly about their children, their wives, their parents, wondering if they'd be celebrating without them. But then, something wonderful happened. The captain of the first ship, a grizzled old sailor who'd spent 40 years at sea, began to sing. It was an old Christmas carol his grandmother had taught him when he was just a boy. His voice was rough and weathered, but it was filled with such longing and such hope. The sailors on the second ship heard it across the waves and joined in, and soon the third ship added their voices too. And here's the magical part. As they sang, a gentle wind began to blow. Not a storm, mind you, but a steady, kind breeze that filled their sails. Those 3 ships, guided by starlight and song, made it safely to harbor, just as the church bells rang in Christmas Day. The sailors rushed home to their families, and the story of the 3 ships became a carol sung around the world. It reminds us that sometimes, when the journey seems long and the way uncertain, music and hope can light our path home. Whether you're sailing across the sea or driving down the island highway to be with loved ones, it's that same hope that guides us. And speaking of that journey, here's the legendary Valdy with his rendition of I Saw 3 Ships.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And what was in those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day? And what was in those ships, all 3, on Christmas Day in the morning? The Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. The Virgin Mary and Christ were there on Christmas Day in the morning. Gray weather sailed those ships all three on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Gray weather sailed those ships all three on Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, and all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning, and all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, and all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning, and all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, and all the souls on earth shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Then let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, and let us all rejoice again on Christmas Day in the morning.
Valdy is a true Canadian folk icon who's been sharing stories through song for generations. Having him be part of this Christmas celebration is truly special. Here at the North Pole, we spend all year doing a lot of important work. But let me tell you a secret. We know how to have a holly jolly good time. Why, just last week, the elves organized a snowball fight that lasted 3 hours. It started innocently enough. One elf playfully tossed a snowball at another during lunch break. But before you knew it, we had teams forming, strategic snow fort construction, and even Rudolph got involved as an aerial reconnaissance specialist. He got so excited, he accidentally launched himself into a snowbank and had to be dug out by a team of giggling elves. And Mrs. Claus? She made snow angels until she couldn't feel her fingers, then came inside laughing so hard she could barely catch her breath. She made hot cocoa for everyone, and we sat around the fire telling stories about the silliest Christmas moments we'd witnessed over the years. You know what makes me especially joyful? Seeing communities come together, watching people coordinate care and support for one another with dedication and heart. When neighbors connect, when services are organized with compassion, when people work together to help everyone thrive, that's when you see real joy light up. That spirit of cooperation and community care, it never gets old. Kind of reminds me of the winter fun I see at the community park in Parksville, when there's enough snow to go tobogganing down the slope onto the playing field. Kids and families come together. They help each other get back to the top. The city blocks off a lane of traffic so everyone can play safely. And everyone is bundled up and grinning from ear to ear. You see, Christmas isn't just about the quiet, peaceful moments, though those are wonderful too. It's also about joy. Pure, unbridled, can't-stop-smiling joy. The kind that makes you want to dance in the snow, sing at the top of your lungs, and celebrate with everyone around you. That's the spirit of Christmas that keeps us young at heart, no matter how many centuries we've been doing this. And speaking of that joyful spirit, here's the talented Zachary Stevenson of Parksville with Holly Jolly Christmas.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but have a cup of cheer. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And when you walk down the street, say hello to friends you know and everyone you meet. Whoa, oh, the mistletoe hung where you can see. Somebody waits for you, kiss her once for me. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. For me, have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. Have a holly jolly Christmas. And in case you didn't hear, oh by golly, have a holly jolly Christmas this year. With boughs of holly, 'tis the season to be jolly. Don we now our gay apparel, troll the ancient Yuletide carol. See the blazing the harp and join the chorus. Follow me in merry measure while I tell of the Yuletide treasure. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Deck the halls with Buddy Holly, Nat King Cole and old Bing Crosby, Elvis, Chuck, and Brenda Lee. Keep rocking around that Christmas tree. Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Ho, ho, ho! Now that's what I'm talking about. Zachary really knows how to spread that Christmas cheer. Well, friends, I'll be right back with more stories and Christmas music after a word from our sponsors.
At Thrifty Foods, we love to help nonprofits, charities, and schools. Our Thrifty Foods Smile Card bulk program allows organizations to immediately save up to 6% on the purchase of Smile Cards in bulk, allowing you to keep more money in your organization's pockets. Ask for details at Thrifty Foods in Parksville.
There's exciting news for book lovers. Fireside Books in Parksville now has a second location in Port Alberni. The Bookworm. Used books are just $5 or less. The Bookworm on the corner of Redford and Anderson opens 7 days a week from 10 to 5. Building your personal library for less. Fireside Books at 464 Island Highway East in Parksville is a book dragon's dream come true. Browse their extensive collections 7 days a week. Both locations make growing your personal library easier than ever. New and used books and so much more. Order online at firesidebooks.ca and pick up at either location. Details available online. Ask about returning books for a book credit. Fireside Books and the Bookworm. 2 locations, one amazing adventure in browsing.
Welcome back, friends. I hope you're still cozy by that fire with your cocoa. You know, one thing I've learned over all these years is that Christmas has a way of bringing us back to what matters most. Let me tell you about something I witnessed just a few years ago. I was delivering presents to a house where a family had been going through tough times. The father had been working far from home, trying to make ends meet. He wasn't sure he'd make it back for Christmas. His wife had tried to keep spirits high, decorating the tree with the kids, baking cookies, singing carols. But you could see the sadness behind her smile. The children kept asking, "Will Daddy be home for Christmas?" But on Christmas Eve, as I approached that house, I saw him walking up that snowy driveway, his coat dusted with snow, carrying nothing but a small bag. He'd driven through a snowstorm, taken 3 different buses, and walked the last 2 miles after his car broke down. He was exhausted, but his determination to get home to his family grew with every step. He'd called in every favor, worked out every detail, made a plan, and stuck to it no matter what obstacles appeared. Sometimes getting home to the ones you love requires that kind of determination, that willingness to navigate through every challenge, to find a way when there doesn't seem to be one. When he opened that door, his children ran to him, and in that moment I realized he didn't need to bring elaborate gifts. His presence was the present. Being home, being together, that was everything. The way his wife's face lit up, the way the kids held on to him, that's what Christmas is really about. Sometimes we get so caught up in making Christmas perfect that we forget the most important gift we can give is simply showing up for the people we love. One more Christmas together, that's the real blessing. It's something we should never take for granted. Now here's Vince Warry with One More Christmas.
Seeing smiles everywhere, winter chill back in the air, makes me think about being young. Just one more Christmas. Only thing that I really want, take me back to those family times and the love around the tree that shines. Give me one more Christmas, singing carols all night. One more Christmas, Mom's dinner done just right. One more Christmas, to laugh and to try, soak it all up. I never got to say goodbye. Stockings hung, spices in the air, laughter coming from everywhere, paper chains and candlelights, sneaking down past midnight. Take me back to those family times and the love around the tree that shines. Give me one more Christmas, singing carols all night. One more Christmas, Mom's dinner done just right. One more Christmas, Christmas to hold on so tight. One more Christmas to pass the magic on, so it's never gone.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Vince. Now, I have to confess something to you all. People think Christmas at the North Pole is all sugar plums and candy canes. And it is. But you know what? Sometimes, after a long day in the workshop, when the northern lights are dancing overhead and the snow is falling softly and quietly, sometimes I like to sit back, put my feet up by the fire, and listen to some good old-fashioned blues. There's something about the blues that speaks truth, you know? It doesn't pretend everything is perfect. It acknowledges that life can be hard, that we all face struggles, that Christmas doesn't magically solve all our problems. Not everyone has a picture-perfect holiday. Some folks are missing loved ones. Some are facing financial worries. Some are just feeling the weight of the year that's passed. But here's the beautiful thing. Even when we've got the blues, we can still find reasons to celebrate, still find warmth, still find connection. I've seen families come together and create their own kind of Christmas magic, even when times were tough. A simple meal shared becomes a feast. A heartfelt conversation becomes more valuable than any store-bought gift. And you know what else I've seen? I've seen community members looking after one another, checking in on neighbors, making sure everyone has what they need to stay healthy and comfortable through the winter. That kind of care, that attention to each other's well-being, that's the medicine that heals a community's heart. Some of my most memorable Christmases weren't the perfect ones. They were the ones where families pulled together through difficult times, where neighbors helped neighbors without being asked, where people found joy even in the midst of hardship. That's real Christmas spirit right there, the kind that doesn't need everything to be perfect, just needs hearts to be open. So let's get a little bluesy with David Gogo performing Christmas with the Blues.
Well, it's Christmas time, everybody, but it's raining in my heart. Well, it's Christmas time, everybody, but it's raining in my heart. Well, you know I love you, baby. Tell me why we must be apart. Well, you
Now that's what I call soul. David Gogo, what a talent. You know, there's an honesty in that music that really touches the heart. Well, friends, I'll be right back with more stories and Christmas music after a word from Peter and Dave's sponsors.
The Pulse Community Podcast is sponsored in part by the SOS. For more than 55 years, the SOS Caring for Community at Christmas program has ensured that local children, youth, adults, and seniors experience the joy of the holidays. The thrill of finding a gift under the tree, the happiness that comes from sharing food that has special meaning. To donate to the SOS Caring for Community at Christmas program, visit sosd69.com or call 250-248-2093.
Ian Lindsay of Lindsay and Associates has played an active role in the local community since 1979. He has been with RE/MAX, Vancouver Island's most advanced real estate business network, since 1996, marketing and selling residential, rural, strata, recreational, investment, and project development real estate. You'll find true real estate professionals at ianlindsay.ca.
Windsor Plywood in French Creek specializes in hard-to-source interior and exterior home finishing products, including flooring, doors, and moldings. Windsor Plywood French Creek carries high-quality, responsibly sourced products and are committed to providing outstanding value and personalized one-on-one service to all of our customers: homeowners, do-it-yourselfers, renovators, builders, designers, craftsmen, and contractors. Regardless of the type or size of your project, Windsor can help you bring your vision to life from start to finish. Let Windsor Plywood in French Creek help you with your renovation, new build, or building project. Call 752-3122.
And we're back. You know, I've been doing this Christmas thing for a very long time, and I've delivered presents to every corner of this world. From tiny villages in the Alps to sprawling cities, from tropical islands to the frozen tundra. But let me tell you about some of my favorite stops, the ranches and farms out in the countryside. There's something special about Christmas in ranch country. The way the snow settles on the fence posts, the horses with frost on their manes, the warm glow of a farmhouse kitchen where someone's baking pies, and there's always a pot of coffee on the stove. I remember one Christmas Eve, I landed my sleigh near a little ranch house way out in the middle of nowhere. A young cowboy was sitting on the porch, guitar in hand, playing a quiet tune to the stars. His horse was nearby, ears perked up, listening like it was the most beautiful music in the world. And you know what? It was. That cowboy told me he didn't need much for Christmas. Just his horse, his guitar, and someone to share the starlight with. There's a romance to that kind of life, a simplicity that cuts right to the heart of what matters. Love doesn't need fancy wrapping paper or big city lights. Sometimes it just needs a clear night sky, a warm heart, and the courage to say what you feel. Speaking of romance and country charm, here's a wonderful, fun tune from the Heels, featuring the talented Kyla Rollins of Qualicum Beach, A Cowboy for Christmas.
Making my list, checking it twice. Been a bit naughty, but a lot more nice. I'm all decked out in bells and bows, waiting right here under mistletoe. But there's one thing I missed: a cowboy for Christmas. He could be on a wild horse running for me, making tracks through the snow. It could happen all of a sudden. of a sudden he will wrap me up and never let go. My holiday wish, a cowboy for Christmas. He could be on a wild horse running for me, making tracks through the snow. It could happen all of a sudden. He will wrap me up and never let go. My holiday wish for Christmas. My holiday wish, a cowboy for Christmas, for Christmas, for Christmas, for Christmas, for Christmas, for Christmas, for Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho! Santa might have trouble wrapping up a cowboy, but I do love a challenge. Kyla Rollins and the Heels, bringing a little country fun to our Vancouver Island Christmas. You know, it's wonderful to have such talented artists right here in your own community. Speaking of heart, let me tell you about my favorite part of Christmas Eve. It's not the cookies and milk, though I certainly appreciate those. No, my favorite moment comes right around midnight, when I'm about halfway through my journey. I always make a point to pause for just a moment and look down at the world below. And what I see takes my breath away every single time. I see houses glowing with warm light. I see families gathered together, grandparents sharing stories, children trying so hard to stay awake, parents stealing quiet moments together after the kids finally drift off. I see candles in windows, each one a beacon of hope and welcome. I see people walking through snow to visit loved ones, carrying pies and presents, their laughter echoing in the crisp night air. I see the Christmas lights twinkling along the oceanfront in Parksville, the decorated storefronts in Qualicum Beach, the little churches all lit up from Nanu's to Bowser, their bells ringing out into the starry night. I see strangers becoming friends as they wish each other Merry Christmas while passing on the street. I see the whole world taking a breath together, sharing this one sacred night. Christmas Eve has a magic all its own. That anticipation, that hope, that sense that anything is possible. It's the moment when we're all connected, all part of something larger than ourselves. The veil between everyday life and something transcendent gets just a little bit thinner. And nobody captures that feeling quite like Spirit of the West. Here they are with Christmas Eve. Spirit of the West, with Vince Dietrich of Arrington. I want to take a moment to acknowledge some special folks who help keep the Pulse community strong all year long. You know, at the North Pole, we couldn't do what we do without the dedicated elves, the reindeer handlers, the toy makers, and Mrs. Claus keeping everything running smoothly. And here in your community, you have wonderful people doing the same thing. Brian at Fireside Books, bringing stories and warmth to your community. Ian Lindsay and the team at Lindsay & Associates, helping folks navigate life's important decisions. Aki Shaw at Tablet Pharmacy, looking after everyone's health and well-being. And Chris Maloney and his marvelous staff at Windsor Plywood in French Creek, and the Society for Organized Services, helping coordinate the care and support that keeps our community strong. These are the people who make community happen, day in and day out. That's the real Christmas spirit. Showing up, caring for one another, building something meaningful together. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to share one last story with you about the night I learned about the power of bells. It was many years ago, and I was flying over a small village in Europe on Christmas Eve. The snow was falling softly, and all seemed peaceful. But as I landed on the first rooftop, I noticed something unusual. The church bells in the town square weren't ringing. You see, there had been a disagreement in the village, and the people had stopped coming together. The bell tower stood silent. Families that had been friends for generations weren't speaking. The bakery across from the butcher shop, they'd stopped doing business with each other. Even the children had taken sides. It was heartbreaking to see a community so divided, especially at Christmas. But one small child, a little girl no more than 7, climbed those tower stairs in the dark of night. She was too small to ring the great bells herself, and truth be told, she was terrified of the dark. But she had brought a tiny silver bell from home, a gift from her grandmother. And with trembling hands, she rang it. One clear, pure note that echoed across the snowy rooftops. That single bell brought the villagers to their windows, and before long, they were making their way to the square, drawn together by that simple sound of hope. When they saw that little girl standing there in the tower window, her courage reminded them what truly mattered. By morning, the village was happy again. You know, that little girl's grandmother was the village bookseller. She'd read to that child every night by the fireside, stories of courage and hope. Those stories gave that little girl the bravery she needed. Never underestimate the power of a good story, friends, whether it's shared by a grandmother, found in the pages of a cherished book, or told around a warm fire. The bells have been ringing ever since, reminding us that even the smallest voice, the smallest gesture of hope and unity can change everything. You know, that same spirit lives right here in communities like Parksville and Qualicum Beach, where neighbors still look out for one another, where a simple hello can brighten someone's day, where community truly means something. At the North Pole, we have a tradition. On Christmas Eve, just before I leave for my journey around the world, Mrs. Claus lights a special candle in the window. It's a beautiful old brass candle holder that's been in our family for centuries, a gift from a village elder in Finland, back when I was just starting this whole Christmas delivery business. That candle burns through the entire night, a beacon reminding me that no matter how far I travel, no matter how many rooftops I visit, no matter how tired I get or how the weather turns, home is waiting for me. When I see that light flickering in our window as I return, just as dawn is breaking on Christmas morning, I know I'm loved. I know I'm welcomed. I know I belong. But here's the secret. That candle isn't just for me. It's for everyone. Because Christmas isn't really about the presents under the tree or the decorations on the mantle. It's about the light we keep burning for one another, the love that waits, the door that's always open, the welcome that never fades. It's about being that steady light in someone's life, letting them know they matter, that they're remembered, that there's always a place for them. Each of you is keeping that light burning, for your families, for your neighbors, for your community here in the heart of beautiful Vancouver Island. From Parksville to Qualicum Beach, from Nanoose Bay to Bowser, from French Creek to Arrington. And that's the greatest gift of all. That's what makes Christmas truly magical. Speaking of bells, I'm delighted to close our time together with the wonderful Shari Ulrich of Bowen Island performing Hear the Bells Ring.
In the cool crisp of winter, as another year ends, hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring. They toll for the blessings of family and friends. Hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring. They toll for the tears of a mother and child. They toll for the miracle of each new life. We sing Gloria, Hallelujah, with the spirit of joy voices ring as we sing Gloria. Give us faith, hope, and love as we sing Gloria. In the season of wonder, we are still asking why. Hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring. In the distance, war thunders under Bethlehem's sky. Hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring. They toll for the tears of a heart that's grown cold. They toll for the freedom forgiveness holds. We sing Gloria, Hallelujah, with the spirit of joy voices ring as we sing Gloria. Give us faith, hope, and love as we sing Gloria. Oh, I am a dreamer. I stand on the rock and I never stop believing that one day the borders will fall and we'll all know peace as we gather this season in celebration and love. All the bells ring, all the bells ring, all the bells ring. Let us name every reason and be grateful for all as we hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring, hear the bells ring. We sing Gloria, Hallelujah, with the spirit of joy voices ring as we sing Gloria. Give us faith, hope, and love as we sing Gloria. We sing Gloria, Hallelujah. We sing Gloria. The bells ring, the bells ring, the bells ring.
Well, my friends, thank you for spending this time with Santa Claus. I hope these songs and stories, from the joyful to the bluesy, from the playful to the profound, have brought a little extra warmth to your holiday season. Remember, Christmas magic isn't something I bring in my sleigh. It's something you create every day through kindness, through music, through the love you share with one another. From everyone at the North Pole, and from Peter and Dave, and Marilyn and Rhonda, and the band here at the Pulse Community Podcast, wish you the merriest of Christmases and a wonderful New Year. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.